Hey everyone, Zach here, resident cat herder on Live and Let Fly. Just quick heads up, we're going to be taking a few weeks off to spend time with our friends and family over the holidays, so this will be the last episode of 2022. We will be back with a new episode of Live and Let Fly on January 4th, so we'll see you in 2023. Cheers! What's up, everybody? It's Live and Let Fly. We're back again. What's going on?
Tag team back. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, we're here. Yeah.
It is Live and Let Fly Day.
Gang's all here.
Can we just fly and let live,
Yeah.
Please?
You know what? Hey, Zach, actually, could we in fact just
Could we just
live
do
and
that?
let fly?
Yeah, we can. We can do that. That's cool.
To be the Live and
For
Let
now.
Fly podcast, there's not a lot of letting us just fly.
No! Come on!
Get with the program.
It's
Come on, AP.
just funny because today
Barely
is
living.
Live and
That's what
Let
I'm
Fly
saying.
Day. We dropped an
Like release
episode
day.
earlier today,
Yeah.
and we were recording tonight. And
We had
clearly,
quite
y'all
the
are all still
conversation in the
salty about.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
a big discussion in the Discord today, which I thought was a good discussion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I haven't even started that conversation yet. I need to go back and look at the Discord, and it's
It's
just
a good read.
It's been
good
a
read.
pain in the butt for me, like this past month, just working 6 days a week. So I barely have any time at all. I somehow remember my own name, and that's about it. I'm just
You know what, John?
Jello
I'm
in the
proud
brain
of you.
right now.
Hey, well, don't feel bad. I'm on Thanksgiving break, and I'm not up to date on it either. I ain't had shit going on.
Zach, how has it been for you GMing a Starfinder adventure whose explicit intent is to not make us feel heroic?
Yeah. Who hate your
Like, and
players.
I don't mean that snarky. No.
Sounds snarky.
I know, but it's legitimately not. Like, that's the name
Like,
of the
that's
first
the
book is
tagline, you know?
we're no heroes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so, like, that's just very different compared to most APs where, you know, you're explicitly supposed to be heroes. And so,
Right,
like,
right,
it's
right.
still structured like an AP, and we still have to, like, do things to level up. Leo was talking about that today, but the narrative is that we shouldn't be doing anything that we're doing. Do you find that challenging as a GM?
Well, it's certainly interesting. You know, it's different, right? But I just really love the sort of themes that get explored in this AP. I mean, as you all know, when they first announced it, I was like, "This is what I want to do." I wanted to do Fly Free or Die. So
Is it living up to the thematic expectation that you had?
yeah, I mean, I feel like you know the situations that I put y'all in certainly do explore those themes, right? It's difficult sometimes when you know I know that you feel frustrated or beaten down by the narrative that's going on, despite your best efforts. Even though that's sort of the point, right?
Right,
You know,
right.
that's sort of
I
the
am
point.
feeling immersed by that.
I feel like one of Donnie Yin's stunt.
Ow! My immersion. It hurts.
I see you with that callback.
Yeah, my immersion is bruised and fragile. All right.
Yeah.
But I enjoy
think
it. I enjoy doing it. You know, it's fun.
It's certainly different being on this side of the GM screen, you know.
And especially given the circumstances of the AP, right? It's like
right.
you came in expecting to kick ass and take names, and
Well,
here
no,
you
but I
are
didn't even
navigating
expect that,
corporate
you know?
bullshit, you know?
So I knew what AP we were playing when we got into it, you know, and hell, I made a character who was reluctantly a captain who was fumbling around. That was all. I leaned into the whole vibe, you know, but like, what's been my struggle is I feel like I'm being punished for leaning into the vibe, and that's what I don't like.
You're not, though. Like, that's the thing. It's like you're not being punished any more so than anybody who would pick up this AP and play it is being punished.
I know.
Right?
I know.
I'm not, like, intentionally trying to, like, fuck you guys.
I don't think that you are, honestly. It's really, it's just the narrative, and it just is it's just the point of this story, right? You know, but it just gets, you know, as I mentioned in the Discord, all the encounters have been like super fun to play. Like I really enjoy how they're set up and like mechanically what kind of challenges it's throwing at us. Like it's all been fun to like play the Starfinder part of it. You know what I mean? But like the RP part of it has just been challenging. I won't say like I don't like it, but like I'm in a space right now where it's like difficult and I don't want to get into it because we'll probably get into it in character here in just a minute. But like it's difficult to press forward as Roland, you know what I mean? And that's the challenge, you know?
Well, let's put that challenge to the test, you know? So here's the deal.
Good time talks, guys, by the way.
You all.
Sometimes
We gotta do a little TT in the old band.
Little
You know how we do it. Sometimes just a little tinkle
teasy
tinkle.
Tom talk. Tom talk the teasing.
Triple T.
Yeah.
Tom talk tease.
And we've
Here's
done like
the deal.
50 Tom Talks and never called it TT.
Thank God.
Well, it's ruined now.
There you go.
It makes it better for me.
So, last time on Living Let Fly, you all stopped a defrex stampede through the Oliphaunt. You got to the bottom of what happened with all that, and you all leveled up, right? That happened? Am I tracking that? Okay.
Yeah, I have like just a couple clarification questions.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that you probably answered them in the episode, but I was too steeped in my ire to be fully paying attention.
All right, hit me, man. What you got?
So the EMP came from the nanites. They did the EMP blast,
Correct.
and they took out certain systems in our starship, but not power completely, because there was other things happening that required power to like the lasers.
Yeah.
and
You had like an emergency power. You know, I mean, I would think all starships have some sort of like backup
Auxiliary.
yeah,
power.
but like. I figured as much, but then as I was like editing the episode and listening to it and talking about it on Discord, you know, there was like rogue lasers going off. That's not auxiliary, you know, that's not backup power.
Dude.
In our
It
like
was
our
rerouted.
and our hack system was like had enough power to generate hard light holograms,
So-
you know.
I know.
So Adam,
I know.
the way our bank account is set up, when
So, I mean, like, is that a mystery that we're supposed to be exploring, or is that something I just missed?
No,
you know?
I mean, listen, man. Like literally, the extent, and I'm not kidding about this. The extent of, you know, the information that I have on how this happened, and I will read it to you verbatim. Let's see here. Where's it at? When the nanite-infested defrexes explode, they also release an electromagnetic pulse that disrupts technological systems throughout the Oliphaunt, and the starship temporarily loses power. That's it.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah. So my thought is that I'm gonna like hand wave, you know, unless y'all want to like RP it out or something like.
No, I'm just curious as a player.
Being able to restore
Did I
power
miss
to
something?
the ship. You didn't miss anything.
Okay.
No, I don't. You know, this could be one of those situations where Leah wrote 42,000 words and had to trim it down to 25,000 words.
I don't think it's one of these situations. I think it's explicitly that situation.
Yeah. Well, it's not the only situation in this book where I feel
I got
that
you.
way, where I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I bet he had more to say on this particular.
How evil and large do you think his grin was every time he wrote the words nanite infested defrex into this opening?
Yeah,
I quiver at the thought of that. Ugh.
I feel like that's probably a King Giz album right there.
It could be. It's coming out next week.
Man,
Yeah,
that's a
next
death
week.
wreck.
Came out yesterday.
Did, in
It's
fact.
already out.
Yeah.
They're already
up.
working on the next one.
That's the only questions I had. Well, okay, I'm sorry, I had one more.
Okay.
One more question. And it's probably the same answer. You didn't have the information. But how did they get out of the cargo bay?
So that literally the next sentence, the surviving herd stampedes out into the hallway of the Oliphaunt, thrashing over one another and barreling down the starship's cramped corridor.
So,
So,
I'm gonna
the EMP
say
haywire shot.
And
the
yeah,
back.
yep.
The
Yes.
doors. Yeah, let's say that.
There we
yeah.
go.
just glitched open long enough for them
Yeah.
to yeehaw.
Long enough for them to fuck us.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just one of the. It's like, you just gotta like have that. That's
takes
a
a second.
conceit of the AP there.
Yep.
What a
as it is
conceited
written.
AP.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah, so that's where we're at. That's just what it is.
Well, thank you for answering those questions.
Yeah,
I was just curious.
Absolutely. So here's the deal this week. I think we need to take some downtime after the events of all this, defrex hurting situation. You're going to have, I'll just give spoiler alert, it's going to be a safe flight back to Vest 3, back to Skitterhaven Ranch.
Don't believe them, guys.
Scout's honor, okay? I was
you a
never a
scout?
scout, but
I was going to say, I
don't worry.
You
Listen,
were.
it's the spirit of the gesture
Oh,
that
is it?
matters,
Uh-huh.
okay? Not the specifics, all right?
Neat.
Okay. So here's what I would like y'all to do is to have let's focus on our level ups. Talk about our level ups, and if y'all hard carry the next hour of content, I will throw in multiple D30s for everybody. Okay. All
Watch
right.
out.
So that's the deal that I'm offering you all. Right.
Can we cash those in for cold hard cash instead?
They're non-redeemable, non-transferable.
It's non-transferable.
Don't know unless you
Some
ask,
multiple
you know?
30K cred sticks.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what that
Let's
is.
go.
But anyway, let's pick it up from there. And do y'all have any? Does anybody have anything that they want to kind of lead off with in terms of like, the aftermath of this, or
Well,
talking about
I
your
do.
level ups or anything?
First thing before John gets started, can you set us some music?
Oh yeah. What
Thank you.
what kind of vibe would you like?
Just a chill ambient.
I want a rich vibe.
I want to have
I
lots
want
of
to play
money.
the opposite of this AP, where we're like just loaded and
I don't think that
overpowered.
I think that happens eventually in this AP.
it may or
We
may
get
not.
ri-
It
we
may
get
or may
rich,
not.
But
It'll
then
get taken
we
away.
probably,
But then-
then it'll get taken.
Won't last.
Yeah.
Is that chill enough, or do you want less chill?
I think that's fine, to be
It's
honest.
a little.
with
It's
you.
kind of ambient, but
Ambient's good.
okay.
I like it. I like
All
it.
right. Okay. So, John,
Yeah.
you wanted to kind of lead
Like
things
right
off
off the
with
aftermath.
how Vincent's feeling. Take us there, man. Take us
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. So right after everything just takes kind of place with all the defrex that are still in this cargo bay, and everybody's still kind of like calming down from the alert that just went off, and he just like, I imagine like once the gravity just kicks back on, like he just kind of like plops right down on his ass, and he's just gonna get right back up. And first thing he's going to do is, after he wipes his brow, he's going to go ahead and approach Tia. And he says, Tia, you were wonderful back there. You really did it. You really did a number there. I just want to tell you, whenever you need help, I'm your dwarf.
Yeah. Well, Tia's like because she's about to suffocate.
Deep breaths, like hard pats on the back. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Take him out of me. Yeah. Hold your arms out.
Yes. This helps. Thank you.
Breathe through the thorax. All right?
I'm just glad I was able to get us there.
You want to die. You should be proud of yourself.
Is this what being a hero feels like?
It sounds like you evolved. Am I right? And just like big wink.
He's doing it.
I hope so.
Right, well, Captain, we really
yes,
fucked this one up again. What's going on?
He ignores that and he just says, all right, crew, quite a mess has been made. Before we settle down, I think we should straighten our ship up. I will go with Morgan to the arcane lab and we will put that back in order. If Vincent, if you will take care of this cargo area, get it back in line, and Hestia, if you will go to the tech lab, right? That's what it is. Is that where the lasers were firing off?
Yes.
Yeah. If you will go and deal with the lasers there and get them back in position, and well, Gadrick, I already know that you're going to go to the hack and make sure that your movie theater is in good shape. So,
yeah. What else? It's the most important
right.
part of the ship.
Right.
Obviously,
this
yeah.
instruction is just a formality. And then after that, perhaps we can all meet in the galley to just chat.
Right.
Sounds like a good idea. Maybe decompress as a unit. Yes, that sounds lovely.
All right. Well, there's no time like the present. Hop to.
Watch your
like
step here. There's a lot of cow patties around here. Little defrex patties.
I will say anybody that has like even the most decent of sense motive can see a wave of like tense frustration coming off the captain. He's not mad at any of y'all, but you can just see tension, and his, he doesn't typically give orders out like that. And, I just want to call attention to that is not me just being a bossy. It's a manifestation of his frustrations.
Right.
And he's going to head.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's going to head to the arcane lab.
There you go. And just like Vincent doesn't pick up on that at all, but he sees him leaving. He's like, "What's up, his crawl?"
It's probably the almost dying and all that.
Hey, but this is on the regular now,
Well,
I
that's
think
Gotta
exactly
get
the
used
thing.
to it. At this point.
I think it's a matter of that it's happened back to back to back. And it's just, I think I, for one, am worn a little thin on this. Personally, very ready for defrex to be off the ship. No offense, fuzzy babies, but I'm so tired of looking at you.
I could use a stiff drink.
Fault.
I mean, Vincent, look at my mustache. There's a single whisker sticking out of it. It's not.
It's a bit dry. Do you still have any of that oil left?
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of that as soon as I make sure that.
Whenever we get back on port, maybe you need to get it styled again or something.
Yeah, well, like Morgan was saying, it's just been one thing after a fucking another.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I could use a stiff drink and something other than fucking toast sandwiches, if you know what I mean.
I could have sworn you said toe sandwiches, but
toast sandwiches, they taste the bloody same.
It's
No
toe
judgment.
jam.
Is defrex steak not on the menu? Didn't
It
a couple
certainly
of them
could be.
blow up?
I mean,
You know
the
what I
thing
mean?
about it is it's kind of like birdshot. As soon as you get all those nanites in that meat, then it's like, do you really want those nanites to be exploding into you?
I mean, that's
You know
how
what I
you
mean?
you crack a tooth,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you want nanites? This is how you get nanites.
That's how you get nanites.
That's a poor idea, Caden.
No, Morgan would,
Well, that was
though.
Adam.
Before they turn to go with the captain, they would kind of reiterate, let's all just go take care of the stations, take a deep breath, and like the captain said, I think us coming together and having a breather in the galley will really be helpful. So everybody just take a few breaths, and we'll see you in a bit, okay?
Yeah.
Righto.
Glad everybody's all right.
I feel like Hestia does just that and just stays laying on the ground for a few minutes, just breathing before she finally gets up and is like, okay, back to work. And also is like, it's not a frustration, but it just the knowledge that even though the captain kind of assigned each of us to a different part to kind of take care of, Hestia, knowing who she is going to go over the entire fucking ship and like go through all the diagnostics and everything.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there is a we've started an employee of the month like station in the, I don't know, in maybe the hall, and like Tia's the only picture up there.
Exactly. It's just like a row of like employee of the month.
Mm-hmm.
They're much didn't care for those types of awards anyways.
Don't worry about it, kid. They always fuck us.
It would mean the
little
people. No, but I mean that would mean the world to Hestia, to be honest. Like even like she would be completely oblivious to like that it's like just her and like nobody really cares about it, but like she cares.
I feel
the acknowledgement, you know.
Acknowledgement, yes.
Praise King.
Validation.
Praise King.
There we go. Yeah. Here for it. I mean, Morgan would head into the arcane lab and just sort of help start tidying up. But for the most part, they would sort of just kind of check in with the captain's vibe. Like, as he's sort of straightening things, is he feel like he's coming down a little bit? Like, is he still really, you know?
I wouldn't say he's like amped like he was, you know. He's not like in action mode or anything like that, but you know, he's uncharacteristically quiet when you come in. He like only gives you the barely a little nuzzle nod, you know, not nuzzle.
Like a
Snap nod,
what's
yeah.
that? What's that?
Oh, that's sad
like
and
a
adorable.
snout dip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's just kind of working. I would say because you're an empath that you probably sense a lot of self-doubt in him. You know, like he's not doing anything outwardly, but you know, because of the connection that we're developing and because you're an empath, I think that you could certainly pick up on those feelings. Yep.
After it's pretty much as straightened as it can be, before leaving the bay, Morgan would kind of like just sort of put their hand on Captain's shoulder. Captain, we've all done the best we could possibly do with the situations that were presented to us along this very interesting journey that we've just taken, and you did the best that you possibly could. Again, given the situations that we've been thrust into.
So, you think that your best was taking that necrograft that caused us all that problems out there? That's your best? And he walks out.
Oh.
We'll see you.
Yeah, I heard the mic drop there.
So, didn't catch any, like before that, did Morgan catch any, like, anger coming towards them? Like,
I mean, Roland is frustrated at all of it, and he just lashed out at you.
okay.
You know, and he is very upset about you having that necrograph, but it's actually coming from a place of like concern for you. But he's lashing out angrily because, well, he just doesn't know what else to do. You know,
Gotcha.
like it just kind of snapped out of him, and that's part of why he walked off, because he was embarrassed as much as he was mad. You know.
Gotcha. Morgan would just stand there, and that's all I've got for now.
And Vincent kind of patrols in, and he's kind of like just stretching, kind of working the kink out of his shoulders and everything. And he's kind of taking a look around, and I think he would at least notice that like you're kind of a shocked stance right there. Hey, Morgie. You doing all right?
Yes. Sorry, just a little tired. I think we were all a little out of sorts after all that.
Yeah. I just did a number back on that cargo. Well, let me rephrase that. I didn't do a number. No, I cleaned up. That'd be the opposite. But but it's going to be pretty hard to get all that scoring and all those explosive scars out the walls. But she'll hold. But yeah. We're Captain.
Morgan, the whole time you're talking, Morgan is just kind of like staring, sort of like off, not looking at you, just kind of like maybe over your shoulder and a little to the left, like just sort of zoned out a little bit.
Right.
I'm so sorry. What did you just ask me?
Oh, no. It was nothing. It's nothing. I'm just yammering, but, hey, look, I mean, I tucked away a bottle, and, I think right now the crew could use it, and, I think I'm gonna bring it to the galley whenever I'll meet up. But, anyway, just wanted to go ahead and give you a little pre-warning on that, and, yeah, I want to go go find Gadrick. But the time being, just chin up.
And they kind of like do a little sort of stiff nod and say, "Thank you, Vincent. I think that a touch of little liquid revitalization would be helpful for all of us, maybe."
That's right. Liquid libations, absolutely, for revitalization.
All right. Well, I'll see you in the galley.
Absolutely.
And they just kind of shuffle off. They definitely don't have their usual pep.
Right.
But yeah.
And also, Vincent's going to shuffle off.
Everybody's shuffling.
Yeah,
Everybody's shuffling.
Everybody's
so-
shuffling.
With Morgan being an empath, I mean, how do they feel about all of this? It's just kind of hard to... weren't expecting that, huh?
So I feel like there was, and that's honestly why Emily was a little surprised at the captain's outburst. I was like, "You just said self-doubt?"
Well, so here's the thing, like,
I understand your reasoning. No, I do.
well,
100.
and like there is, I'm thinking here is like, should I have told you that there is legitimate anger there? Because there is, but like he might have that a little bit more guarded than he would the self-doubt. You know what I mean? And I think maybe the self-doubt is like, if you're looking at it like a jawbreaker or something, that's wrapped around the anger right now. So maybe you just didn't get deep enough to I mean, especially since you were there and Roland knows that you're an empath, he might have been shielding that a little stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Morgan is definitely more shaken now than they were sort of even immediately after this most recent emergency situation. Because, there's the compartmentalization that I think we all go through when you're in sort of emergency mode, where you sort of shift everything and focus on the fire in front of you. That fire had just been taken care of. Morgan was trying to sort of put the captain at ease, and then to have him sort of, sort of snap at them, it was like they weren't prepared for that mentally or emotionally, so it hit them harder than the emergency itself, if that makes any sense. So they're definitely... I mean, they lived through the whole situation with the necrograft and all of the fuckery that occurred, and they were already, planning to have it removed as soon as possible. But now, it's like, just got stabbed in the heart. in the dead black heart.
The zombie heart.
It's not a heart. You don't have
I
a black
know.
heart. You have an
That's right,
undead
it's
adrenal
not.
gland.
That's right,
Adrenal
adrenal
glands,
gland. Damn it.
Which,
Keep thinking it's black heart.
listen, after this job is over, my recommendation is to head into the major city nearest the Skitterhaven Ranch and have something done about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
Get a back alley
We're
doctor.
gonna scoop
you
that
know.
out. We gotta scoop
Something
it on
to
out
think
of there.
about for later, you know.
For sure.
But anyway, yeah, okay, all right. Well, interesting interaction there. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Anybody want to talk about your level ups at all?
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get
Was
there.
there-
Okay,
don't
well, then-
rush us.
Anything before
I'm sorry. Listen.
before we
y'all
meet
are
up in the
steering this
galley?
ship.
I think we meet in the galley, and then the remainder of the days is level up. Because we're going to meet the galley on this day.
Yeah.
On this, once everything's cleaned up. I'm basically just waiting to make sure nobody wants to do anything before we are met up in the galley.
Did anybody have anything else before we go and do a little group hang?
I mean, Hestia, being who she is gonna probably run through all the different rooms in the ship just to give them a quick once over. Not to like try to fix everything right now, but like to make a list for later.
Yeah, and that's no problem. Again, Tia could certainly assess everything that's going on in the ship and could absolutely have a list that you will be able to repair and handle with no issues. So.
I imagine that would probably then make Hestia the last person to arrive in the galley.
I will say, as Morgan walks into the galley, they have Saoirse out and sort of like perched on their shoulder, and they're just like sort of petting her head and everything, just kind of a little zoned out, just petting.
I mean, you would probably notice that Roland is pointedly not making eye contact with you, whether it's like looking down in his coffee cup or making himself busy waiting on everybody to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess like once everybody arrives, he would say, all right, crew status report. How are our systems and bays? Is everything operational, functional, in order?
It's seen better days from what I'm seeing.
I've made a list of all the
you
things
did?
that are wrong. Yes.
Are we in any significant danger throughout the rest of our travels, or are we good to go?
I've spoken with Hylax, and they have assured me that this will be a safe journey.
Great, thank you.
I love it.
God said.
Yes.
Vincent, what is our total head count of the remaining defrex?
Well, from what I was able to count, but using both hands, mind you.
Oh, no.
We are at a total of, we're at 105. 5 exploded. Managed to get the stains out the walls. Doesn't seem like there's any more nanites aboard. And there's going to be some scarring. But nothing can't do about that. Can't get rid of it with club soda. Nothing. So, yeah, we're just going to have to deal with it.
I must say that is a higher number than I was expecting. So I guess we'll take that as some good news.
Right.
All right, team. I wanted us to just put our heads together and make sure that it appears that Edge Corp is on our tail, and that the idea of us just starting our own shipping company and flying off into the galaxy is not a realistic one any further. We have a few issues that we need to take care of. First and foremost, we, of course, have to get the defrex back to Skitter Ranch, and I don't see any problems with that. Ship repairs, Hestia and Gadrick, I imagine you can deal with that over the next couple days. And there's the matter of the faulty necrograft in Morgan, I am going to say that we are going to have that removed, Morgan, when we arrive at the next proper facility to get that done. Is there any disagreement there?
No, Captain. And Morgan's like sitting at the table, and they sort of pull their feet up into the chair with them and sort of like wrap their arms around their knees and sort of like pull them close. And you see Saoirse kind of like scamper up and sort of make a little neck pillow kind of around Morgan, just to try and like, because like there's obvious like waves of tension coming off of Morgan. But they say, agree, Captain. We will take care of this, and it will no longer be an issue.
You, as an empath, I would imagine, you feel a sort of wave of discomfort coming from Hestia at the captain telling you that'll be done and not asking you if you would do it.
I would say...
She doesn't say anything. You just feel that, you know?
I feel like we've spent enough time together as a crew, and you guys know Morgan's like demeanor enough to see like they are pulling in both physically and kind of like emotionally. This is the smallest you've ever seen Morgan. They just look, they feel tiny, you know, compared to their normal personality.
As all that kind of like emotional dynamic is going on, the captain presses on and he looks at Hestia and he says, Hestia, I need you to get an accurate inventory of the length of titanium rope that you have, and I need you to keep up with it from this point forth. Understood?
That's a good
Sure.
idea.
Feel like that's a everybody thing, but okay, sure.
Vincent, you and I will be practicing climbing drills for the next 2 days.
Yeah, I could work on my splats, for sure.
Well, wouldn't you be trying to avoid splatting?
Well, you gotta work on it in order
Work
to get better,
on not
right? Yeah.
having them.
Right. That's what I said.
Gadrick, we will not be trusting autopilot systems until we dock this ship at the next starport to get a full reading of every aspect of this ship. Understood?
Yeah, sure.
All right. After this job is complete, I am putting forth the motion of us reconsidering us having this business.
I'm confused as to what you mean by that. After this is done, I'd like to be depressed and consider quitting. This is what you're saying?
He's saying we should split to you. That's what he's suggesting. Am I right, Captain? You'd like to give up? Aye? After a few you whinging over here?
I'm suggesting that we consider shoring up our weaknesses and perhaps go work for Abadar Corp.
Morgan, like, visibly tears up. Captain, this was a setback. There's no reason that we should. Why don't you think that we can do this for ourselves? We had a bad job. We've had a bad couple of jobs, but I mean, we're just getting started. There's an entire universe of jobs out there that we can move on to. I don't understand this reaction.
The way I see it, Cap, if you want to walk, you can walk. I'm still flying this thing.
I know why, Morgie. He's fucking scared.
Roland smashes his cup down on the table, probably harder than he anticipated or meant to, and it breaks, and he storms out of the galley.
Whatever.
Hestia silently and dutifully goes and gets a broom and starts sweeping it up.
Damn it.
Thank you very much, Tia. Thank you, Tia.
Well, we can't have messes about on the ship, no matter how we're feeling.
Exactly. We're all feeling this, not just a kid.
And you get this, like, that is just something for Hestia to do.
Yeah.
To not engage with you guys.
Sorry about that, guys.
Fine.
I storm out. Me too. I storm out.
God, the
Turn off
immersion
whole
is just
fucking
great.
thing. Yeah.
So I don't know. I missed everything after I said I storm out. So
Hestia goes and gets a broom and cleans up your mess that you made.
Yeah,
and then, but I was going to say that, like, you, especially Morgan, would get the sense that is just Hestia looking for something to do to avoid sort of engaging with this. This whole thing makes Hestia very uncomfortable because, like, she views us as a family, you know? Like, giving up was not something she would consider, or, you know, also seeing everyone else distressed. Like, as much as Morgan is an empath, like, Hestia's not, but is very considerate of other people's feelings, and is you know, just like trying to like go and like sweep some stuff up, and she's, you know, just looking for little stuff to busy herself with.
So
she doesn't know how to respond to any of this.
yeah. So what, Morgan? I think that you would have got the idea that Roland wasn't suggesting necessarily breaking up this crew, but to stop trying to do it on our own, because there's no way that we can hope to stand against all these things that are working against us, and to, you know, go hire ourselves out to Abadar Corp. And you don't maybe don't know that for sure. I mean, he wasn't clear about it, but, you know.
You didn't get the sense of dismissal necessarily.
Right, but what made him storm out was certainly the idea of him being scared and like wanting to run away. Like that got him.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I've got Tia. She feels kind of a little uncomfortable, just don't really know what to do, so I'm just trying to find busy work.
Yeah, well, and I was going to say, on top of that, like, I think Hestia is smart enough to know, like, either he was suggesting, like, we just break up, or not, you know, not being independent anymore, and that is equally a part of the discomfort you feel off of Hestia, because, like, the independence is the point, you know, like, and why this whole endeavor is appealing to Hestia.
So, just kind of feeling the room a little bit. Josh, what would Morgan sort of be getting off of Gadrick?
Tired. That he's just kind of exhausted by all of this, and by the negativity, and also just a sharp, when Roland mentioned, you know, leaving or splitting off and working for Abadar, not him solo, but like us redirecting our efforts towards a major corporation like that, you felt a very, and probably everybody saw, like a hard cringe of just like, ooh, no, I don't want to do that type of thing.
Okay. What about Vincent?
So I think Morgan would be kind of picking up primarily a wave of exhaustion, just primarily from the crew, as well as like a sense of listlessness, you know, and particularly from Vincent. I still would think that Vincent is under the impression possibly that even if he didn't, as in, if Roland didn't mean it as in like split the crew, it would effectively be splitting the crew by going off to work over at Abadar Corp. And something about Vincent is that he's very much attracted to the sense of danger, to the criminality aspects of it a little bit. Even though he went straight for a while, he's still kind of like
Looking for that.
He likes
that high.
he likes the adrenaline that comes with, like, you know, stealing a ship, and he won't be able to have this ship anymore if he goes over to the Abadar. You know,
I
Abadar
love,
Corp.
whereas for Hestia, it's like the independence is the point. For your character, like the fuzzy legality is the point. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's part of the independence, you know?
Yeah.
Partially, you know? He gets to do criminal shit a little bit, you know?
Kind of soaking up all of those sort of like surface level emotions from the crew. Morgan would take just a moment to sort of like gather themselves and then would stand up and say, listen, we have all been through the ringer the last little bit here.
Too fucking right.
And we all know that the captain is a bit of a sensitive soul. I don't think that he means to split us up. And I don't think that he wants to really go back to a corporate situation. I just think that he's nervous that he's going to let us down. And it's easier to give someone else the reins, essentially a corporation. I think that he's wanting to give us a sense of stability. And I think that this is our opportunity as a crew to bolster him and to say, no, that's not what we want. We want to be ourselves. We want to be ourselves together. We want to be our crew.
Well said.
I don't want this to tear us apart. We're all very tired. I can feel every one of you are just as exhausted as I am, and just as exhausted as the captain is. I would suggest we all take everything that's been said with a grain of salt, and maybe a shot of tequila. And
This is rum. Do you drink at all? This is
who,
rum.
me? Oh, darling. Oh, no. Anything and everything, please.
All right.
But
I'll forgive you this one time.
let's just all have a rest. Let's not take anything too seriously. And just know that we'll work this out together as a crew, as a family. And it's going to be all right.
I will take you up on that shot. And I imagine you'd pour her a shot, and Hestia takes one and then goes to, you just said, like, let's go get some rest, right? Mm-hmm. But as she turns to leave back to her quarters and, with her list of a bunch of work to do on the ship and a bunch of work to do on Mantis as well, after the latest reconfiguration, as she walks out of the room, you feel a little change in her sort of aura from, like, fear for what might happen to the party, but to a little bit of, like, sadness and aggravation that this is the conversation that we're having right now. And she's not so petty as I am. But she feels a little bit betrayed that, like, only one person, like, even gave her a thanks for kind of saving everybody's life right there, and that this turned into a, like, everything sucks, woe is me kind of conversation. And kind of, Hestia is incapable of storming off, but kind of slinks off a little irritated.
She's a sweet bug.
She's a sweet bug.
And thorough.
And thorough.
Well, if we're doing shots, having drinks and stuff, and then heading out, of course, Gadrick's going to have one. Is anybody else going to be doing anything? There's something I want to do after, like being the last one out of the room.
That's absolutely fine. I'll do something after you do. Go for it.
I will do something after you do.
Okay.
Josh says, I want to be the last one, and then both of you say,
both
I'm
of you are
going to do
like,
the
I'll be
last
the
one.
Not in the
last
room. Not in the room. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Morgan would take a shot and then, say goodnight and head out of the galley.
Yeah, same. The Hestia took the shot and was the first one to leave.
Yeah, Morgan's right behind them.
All right.
Her, excuse me.
So, yeah, Gadrick would grab the bottle and 2 shot glasses and take a deep breath, hold it for a second, walk out the room with his chest kind of puffed up, kind of trying to jazz himself up for this encounter. And he's going to the captain's room.
Nice.
He does continue breathing normally afterwards.
I was concerned.
But he goes and just kind of lightly knocks on the door.
Come in.
So Gadget goes in, bottle of rum in one hand, 2 shot glasses in the other. You know, Cap, everybody else had a shot and I didn't want to leave you out. So, you want to have a drink? Just the one. Don't have to talk.
You can see, he had taken his shirt off and was doing like kind of shadow boxing in his room, and so he's kind of sweaty. He's got a towel around and he wipes his brow. He says, "Yeah, Gadrick, I think I could use a shot. Please sit down. Let me just put a shirt on real quick." And
sure. So while you're doing that, he pours a shot for himself and one for Roland.
yeah, he says, "Gadrick, I don't know. I apologize for that. That's not befitting of a captain, and I don't want to lead you to your deaths."
I mean, nobody would.
"I don't want to lead you to bankruptcy."
Well, I don't want that either. But, Roland, I tell you, I can almost promise you, I don't know for sure, I hadn't really talked to him about it, but I can almost promise you that nobody in this crew wants to go back and work for another Edge Corp, for Abadar, for any other. We want to be our own people, Roland.
I do too. I don't really want to work for Abadar Corp, but I just feel that the entirety of the galaxy is crushing this little ship each step that we take. And while, yes, we did succeed in getting the amount of defrex that we were asked to get, they literally exploded on our ship, in our face. And there's Edge Corp bounty hunters off of us, not to mention anything that might be coming from Vincent's past as well. Are we equipped? As much as I want to remain independent, as much as I want us to explore the galaxy and see everything and be this strong little crew of misfits, I don't want us to continue to fly head first into disaster.
Well, I'll tell you what, Captain. My take on it is that I'd rather fly free or die.
He did it. He did it.
And he raises the shot
Roll
glass.
credits.
Hands the shot glass over, full of rum.
And he Roland, he's kind of, that sinks in to him for a second, and he says, "Well, I will toast to that." And you see a little bit of his tension melt away. Not all of it, but, his shoulders kind of, they were up kind of against his neck. They kind of relax a little bit. He says, "Well, there's a lot of work to be done still, and it's been a long day, but thank you for this, Gadrick. It means a lot."
Of course. So, get you some good rest. And, we'll see you in the morning.
Indeed.
And he claps him on the shoulder, leaves the bottle and a shot glass, grabs his shot glass, and heads out.
And before you head out, Vincent is actually going to be right at the door of the captain's room. And he's kind of just yelling through the door. He says, "Oh, Captain,
Time to quit wallowing, you sourpuss. I would have brought some rum, but someone nicked it. And then he opens the door and is, oh, Gertie, there's me fucking rum. You dirty duster, you nicked me rum, and now you're boosting up the kitten without me, aren't you?
Yeah, you want to fight about it?
No. I wouldn't
Gadrick said that with a huge grin.
Over the comms you hear, do it.
Do it now.
Do it now. Yeah, well, look. God, Captain, you look like you slept on a pillow of caltrops. I gotta tell you, you need to get some rest.
Yeah, I'm trying to, Vincent.
Oh, right. And he just kind of like scratches his head, kind of like almost like, fuck, what the hell did I come in here for? But then it's just like, right. Look, Captain, look, I'll keep it quick, all right? We're no heroes. Look, I just want to say that you're the most brave and sincere doggo I've ever served with. You're earnest and honest. You need to quit blowing all that fucking terrible air that you're wasting, and you owe the O2 scrubber an apology with that bullshit. I'm just saying. So, quit whinging, stand up straight, and lead this crew. I'm taking me fucking rum.
You can have it. And the tension is back in Roland's shoulders, and he thrusts the bottle back at Vincent.
Catches it.
It's good to see
Now, I
you.
don't throw it. I just kind of push it into your chest. you know?
Right.
There we go. That's energy you can muster. Now use
Yeah, I'll
it on
see
this
you
crew.
bright and early in the morning for those climbing drills. And with that, I'm going to bed.
Right and fucking early. Too right.
Gadrick huffs, looks back at the captain, gives him a quick nod, and then heads out. And quietly, as he passes Vincent, you always know exactly what to say, don't you? And just walks off.
I didn't want him getting all sour in the lips for it. Look, come on. Let's go have another bit of a drink. Did I ever tell you about how good of a lay female dwarves are? And it's just like,
God.
And he just walks out.
Fade to black.
Yeah, no, I just imagine Gadrick trying to walk away, and then Vincent hurriedly coming after him, did I ever tell you about?
Jesus Christ.
I will go ahead and work my level up into this just to get some of that in here.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
I will say that until we meet again, Roland is going to keep to himself. If anybody comes to him the next 2 days and you guys want to do that, you can. But otherwise, Roland is going to be doing a lot of shadow boxing. He will at some point ask Hestia to set up a dummy for him that he can work around and use his momentum to shift the dummy into out of his frame. So he'll hit him. He's working on his movement to be able to hit and then move out of the way, so as not to get in the way of any ranged shots from his ally. And so for his 5th level feat, he took coordinated
shot. Yeah. Sounded a lot like that.
Nice.
Yeah, and then that's the main thing that I get. Everything powered up a good bit because
You can get a revelation?
Not at 5. That's an even level. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got the ability point increase. So just all of my things got better.
Yeah. All right. Do I need to call it out? Do I need to put you on the spot?
No, I'll go next.
All right, John Boy. Let's go.
So the next day, he's waiting on Captain Roland. He's nowhere to be found because he went off. No, I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. No, but aside from practicing climbing and whatnot, the other bit that he's trying to focus on is he's practicing with other weaponry. So he's not just relying solely on just a small arm, a pistol. And with that, he actually skilled up in versatile focus. So he's been kind of plinking cans with a fucking tactical rail cannon, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A big plink, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you
Put
need
some
to
Nerf
take
darts in there.
versatile focus as a soldier?
Focus is
so-
different than specialization.
Oh, gotcha.
Correct. It gives me a +1 to hit with everything that I'm that I'm proficient with, which is damn near everything except uncategorized and special weapons. So
Right, yeah, absolutely.
I will say during our climbing drills, maybe like the second day that we're doing it. The first day, he's like real closed off from you. You know, any kind of joking that you do, he just is like kind of short. He's not like outwardly mean to you, but he's not opening up or engaging with you very much. But then like on the second day, he will just say, "Listen, Vincent, I don't wish to speak about it. At least not now. But please, mind your tongue when it comes to talking about me running."
Fair enough. Maybe I spoke out of turn with that. You're a complicated person with complicated feelings, and I get that. And maybe I shouldn't jump the gun, if it were.
Yeah, as you're doing it, and Roland's like, "All right, up. And he's like pushing you up like a wall. Like, there we go. And to that point, I did take 1 point in athletics, so I could actually climb again if needed.
nice. Also on that note, with my points, I put a point in perception, intimidate, athletics, and acrobatics. And because I hit level 5, I, as part of my class abilities, further down the line, I've just gotten focus fire, which whenever I make a full attack versus the same target, the penalty is only -3. There is something that's at level 11 with Soldier's Onslaught, which reduces the penalty with 3 attacks. But that is Vincent for now.
So Gadrick, on the other hand, not training, not doing any of that stuff. He was flying because he was told not to put it on autopilot. But on one of the displays there, and occasionally you feel the ship lurch as he reaches for something or tries to grab a snack or whatever because he's no autopilot. On one of the displays, he is watching the Princess Bride yet again for like the 700th time probably.
Favorite movie, huh?
Yeah, it must be. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But he gets to the scene where Wesley and, for the life of me, I can't remember his name.
Princess Buttercup.
No, not her. Well, Buttercup's blinded and is held captive, and it's the game of wits with the poison in the cup.
Inconceivable.
Yeah.
Conceivable. Yeah.
And he's sitting there thinking of the classic blunder.
Vincini.
And the way that Wesley handles it is by building up his tolerance to these things. And in that, Gadrick thinks to himself, a little bit dangerous, but I could do that. And I've taken great fortitude.
Okay.
So extra resistance to diseases, poisons, and other maladies, so a higher fortitude save, which is, shoring up my lowest save.
Yeah.
So,
I love that Gadrick canonically gains skills by watching old movies.
Yeah, all of his level ups have been movie related,
I
and it's
fucking love it.
amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That actor is Wallace Shawn, by the way.
Yeah.
but yeah, otherwise he's just flying, kind of keeping to himself and trying to not jostle everyone and the defrex in the back, not being told not to use autopilot, and probably pleads to the captain at some point like, hey, I kind of need to get some, I gotta sleep sometime. I also gotta pee. So
Okay. All right. Good
I'll
deal.
bring you a bucket.
The captain says, noted.
Here's a bucket.
No, I imagine there's ways to run temporary pilot logs so you can go pee.
it's called autopilot.
Yeah, what you said not to do. You can Hestiel will you could let her roll for you for a second while you go to the bathroom.
That'll work. So yeah, Hestia and I tag out as you gotta pee, man.
I'll allow it.
There's a necrograft for that.
Roll for it.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a piloting check,
Don't.
Tio. Let's see if you-
I will.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Think I'm scared.
Don't hit that asteroid.
Okay,
Let's see.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
I
roll
want
me
to
a
roll
pilot.
one. I want to roll one.
Let's roll an actual die this session here. Let's.
Gotta practice
See what
his
it looks
barrel
like.
roll, her barrel
Yeah.
rolls.
I got a natural one.
Gadget goes to the
for a
restroom.
9 total.
Gadget
Nine
goes to the
total.
restroom, sits down, and is being jostled everywhere while he's trying to do his business.
Peas all over the seat.
Over the intercom, Hestia, you hear Gadrick. What is going on up there in the
Very
bridge?
quickly, she clicks it off. Like, nope.
Didn't hear it. It's not a problem.
She bitch buttons you.
All right. Well, luckily you're in the drift, so
Right, so it's not too bad.
yeah.
Sorry, I got very nervous. She like that. I love this so much because like Hestia is the soul of helpfulness, but also never has gotten to pilot this ship and would be very nervous about it, you know? So gets in there and like, oh, don't make any adjustment. Oh, why did I turn 3/4 of the wheel, you know? Like freaks herself out into jostling the ship.
Just
Yeah.
added 2 days to the travel time.
Good, that gives me more time to fix everything on the ship.
Speaking of Tia, you want to talk a little
yeah.
about what Tia got this level?
So I was going to say, going back
Yeah, spill the
to
tea.
after I like that. We need a t-shirt. Spill it, yeah. After our fun conversation after the debacle, she kind of has a shot, walks out feeling a little defeated, a little sad, a little indignant, and goes and with her AI has Mantis follow her back to her quarters, snuggles up with her Skittermander Squishmallow, and gets a good night's rest. And then the next day wakes up and it's like the Iron Man, like building the first Iron Man suit montage. Like she just gets to work because at level up, I get to reconfigure my drone and I'm taking it back to a combat drone, but with long arms instead of with the Dashko. And with a couple of mods to shore up its AC and its HP. So just trying to make it more survivable, and it's still a combat drone, but it's going to be attacking from range, so as not to get knocked out. Because trying to adapt to our party's fighting style with Roland potentially fucking going supernova every now and then. But then, so she does that, and then you said that she's got a list of things. I don't know what work needs to be done, but she would definitely get to work on all that.
No problem. You got it.
Sweet, thank you. But I like to think as she's doing all the work around the ship, as I said, she's not an empath, but like she is tuned into how people are feeling and is kind of in her own thoughts. And as she's going around the ship, you know, she inevitably passes by some of the people where they come by and check out what she's doing and stuff. And she's just thinking about the party and how she can help them. And I can finally, at level 5, rectify the mistake we made earlier in the show, where I took that feat that I shouldn't have, because it was supposed to be for level 5, and I took it, which is God damn it, where's my feats? Enhanced communalism. So now I can spend RP to do more communalisms per day, and it extends it to where I can use communalism on allies that are within 10 feet of me. So now I can go back to my old ways of why don't you re-roll that? You know?
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're making it
So
official
good.
now, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I
Officially
legally can have
evolved.
that.
Yeah.
Officially evolved.
Yeah. The fuzzy legality was the point at first.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So I got that as my feat. So she is, like I said, like in terms of RP, she's a little indignant. Like even though it was a bad situation, like we got out of it in large part due to like her really putting her life and faith on the line to try to get everybody through this situation and save this thing. So she's trying to work through like the hubris of being pissed about that, you know? And is able to because she has such staunch faith in Hylax and the goodness of people, and starts turning inward and then turning outward and thinking about all them and how she can help them and her sort of pseudo psychic ability to influence people's, ability to succeed at things is strengthened. And then, as a class feature, because I'm level 4 mechanic now, I did take another mechanic level. Spoiler alert, I will take nothing but mechanic levels from here on out. I just wanted that soldier dip. But she got another mechanic trick. So her first one is repair drone, which makes it easier and quicker to repair Mantis. Her second one, so during this period, she's toying around with her armor and her equipment, just checking everything and making sure it's working. She has a spark of inspiration and reconfigures her armor for her AI to be able to basically create an energy shield, so she can give herself temporary HP equal to my intelligence modifier plus my mechanic level.
Nice.
And it stays active for 1 minute per mechanic level, or until all the HP or temporary HP is deleted or depleted, not deleted. But so I can do that every time. If I do it, I have to spend a resolve to regain stamina points and take a 10-minute rest, and then I can do it again. So a lot of survivability, as well as helpfulness to the rest of the party. A lot of survivability for Mantis, a little survivability for herself, and then the ability to help people succeed at checks that they fail.
Okay, right on. I like it.
I always love Tia's evolutions. Just great. Yeah,
well, she has evolved, it really, to me, it was a big deal the way the last one ended with her, choosing to put her faith in Hylax instead of wasting an action to turn on her environmental protections. It was no, I've got to get this done now, and Hylax will carry me through this. Mm-hmm. And I think I even said I hope I need to evolve right now. Right. And she feels like through succeeding at that and putting her faith in Hylax, that Hylax has sort of bolstered her ability and that she has evolved.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like it. Absolutely. So I believe we have one more person on the crew we haven't checked in with.
Yeah. So, this is that same night. Morgan goes to their quarters, and instead of laying down to go to sleep, they are kind of pacing around their quarters. And the whole time they're sort of petting Saoirse and sort of just replaying the events that recently occurred. Specifically, being trapped at the bottom of that fucking cliff and knowing that Tia went down, knowing that they couldn't help in any way, that they were just stuck, that if there was somehow that they could have gotten there somehow. And they're replaying that and replaying what the captain said about, was it worth it, is this the best of you, this necrograft? And in the same kind of instance as they replay that, they replay their adopted family screaming at them about alterations and modifications that they've made to their body, if it's coloring their hair or dressing in a different way that's not appropriate to the Callistocratic styles and regulations, and being kind of sort of torn down on the choices that they've made about their body. And they finally just pass out of just sheer exhaustion, and the last thing that they remember is clutching Saoirse to their chest. And the next morning when they wake up, they have a new spell, which is Day's Weariness. You launch an opponent's mind forward in time, forcing them to experience a day's events in a moment. The target takes 4d8 damage and becomes fatigued for the duration, or become exhausted if they're already fatigued. With a will save, they can take half the damage. But yeah, basically having all of that day, the kind of frustration and everything, so they now have a spell for others to experience that. But I'd say the more interesting thing that they notice is that Saoirse is a little bit bigger than they were before, and that there is a crackling magical energy around them as Morgan has taken a feat. The Creature Companion Adept feat.
Indeed.
So now I just kind of flavored Saoirse in a different skin, essentially. But Zach and I, talked this over when I first built Morgan.
First of all, Emily sent me a message today saying, hey, I just want to remind you about this, and linked me to a message in our thread from like January where she was like, when Morgan hits level 5, this is what I want to do. And I had completely forgotten about it. But back in January, I was like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. I don't care. So, here we are.
But Saoirse is technically a Vorak, which is kind of like this sightless crow kind of creature. But I didn't like the visual aesthetic, so she was reworked into sort of like a swan kitten hybrid. But still, sightless. But a Vorak comes with a couple of fun little things that they can do. The one that's specific would be magical transference. Once a day, you have a line of when you have a line of effect and line of sight on your Vorak companion, and it's within 30 feet, you can cast a spell as though you were in the Vorak space instead of your own. So essentially, it's similar to familiar spells in like 5e and stuff, but it's only once a day. But again, if I could use that to basically, healing touch somebody or whatever, that could be a big difference. And also Spellcaster's Apprentice. When your Vorak companion is adjacent to you or sharing your space, you gain a +2 enhancement bonus to mysticism checks to disable magical devices or repair magic hybrid items. But yeah, and now also Morgan could technically send Saoirse into combat if need be. But yeah, so
Pets for the win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Saoirse's now an official pet member.
We'll have to get Spud to work up with. But that's very cool, Emily. It's a very neat evolution there for your Pokemon has evolved.
Your Pokemon has evolved. Yes.
Yeah. But the last little thing.
What kind of? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
What kind of attacks can it do, or can it just do one kind of attack? Or
It's kind of a bite of some kind, I think.
It's talons.
Talons.
And it's a +6 to hit, and it's 1d4 +6 slashing. So
that's not bad.
It's not nothing.
It's not great, but it's not nothing. So you've got
Yeah.
a normal type Pokemon, and I've got a steel type Pokemon.
Well, it's not sitting around doing nothing.
and she can fly constantly. She has a 30-foot fly speed. So
yeah.
Dope. I love it.
But the last thing from Morgan is at one point they would kind of sort of essentially corner the captain. And in private, obviously. And it would say, Captain, I need you to understand that we appreciate everything that you do. We do see you as a captain. We do see you as a leader. And we will do most everything that you ask of us. And I know that taking this necrograft was not the smartest decision. And I will be getting rid of it, because that would be the smartest decision. But for the future, you may dictate everything on the ship except what is my body. And I need you to understand and respect that.
Roland still doesn't look at you. Puts his hand on your shoulder and says, I do respect that. Understood. Could you gather the rest of the crew and meet me in the galley?
Yes, Captain. And they would.
So, crew's in the galley. And he takes a second. He puts down his cup far away from him. And then comes back to the top of the table. He says, my crew, I would like to apologize for my outburst and behavior the other night. I was tired and spent, though this is no excuse. I am your leader and should act as such. In my past, and you can tell that this is really hard for him to say. I have abandoned my responsibilities. From a mixture of wanderlust and a fear of failure. Yet, with this crew, I felt like I could finally commit to something. To not run. And he looks at Vincent as he says that. You all share the same yearning for exploration, for new experience. And as such, I am excited to have found a new circle that I could really feel a part of. Not one that was prescribed to me, but one that was me, if that makes sense. I have come to care for each of you deeply, and for the first time, Roland looks directly into Morgan's eyes as he says that. And your safety, while still looking at Morgan, has been paramount to me. And then he looks at the whole of the crew and says, all of you continue to impress me and move me with your skills and your character. My insecurity and fear of failure then, was that much stronger given the intensity of the feelings that I have for you. My flight instinct reared its ugly head again, and I almost succumbed. But thanks to you, and he looks at Gadrick specifically, I fought this urge. I will not promise that this won't happen again, but what I will promise is that I will honor the truth of this circle, and understand that while I lead, we do. Our success is not on my shoulders alone, and I pledge myself to that truth. We will remain independent, and I will lead you to the best of my ability if you will still have me. And now, for better or worse, we will not let EdgeCorp destroy our dreams, and as such, I think we should rename the ship to be our own. I would like to suggest the Independence.
I like
Did
it.
we just get married?
Independence got a good ring to it. Hell of a lot better than Oliphaunt.
I like it, Captain.
Thank you, Hestia.
I like Angrid's hammer a little bit more. just throwing it out there. Dwarf God, Dwarf Pantheon, no takers here. Just saying. All right,
I think that's very cool, and I would love to read about the Dwarven Pantheon at some point.
I'll tell you all about it later.
Ooh, yes.
Morgan kind of looks up at the captain and says, I think that's a fine name. And I think we're a fine crew. And you are a fine captain. And I look forward to our journeys together.
As do I. And I know that we are a fine crew. I know it. You are my circle, and while I don't know how many of you know what that means to Valaka, it's similar to a clan or a family. And you are my family. And we are going to fuck EdgeCorp in the ass.
I didn't know if he would commit to that one.
Yeah, I was
Right, fuck him
it.
dead. Fuck him dead.
He's getting better. He's getting better.
All right. So,
It's very crude.
good job, everybody. I want you all to take each 3 30 inspirations.
Ooh,
bank them
damn.
up. 3 each.
Thank
3
you,
each.
Alex.
Hang on to them.
Thank you, Alex.
Good job, everybody. We are headed back to Skitterhaven Ranch, and with that, we'll see you.
Wait,
We'll
did I
see.
get all the repairs done?
Yes.
Did I get everything done?
Yeah.
Roll for it.
She would be absolutely devastated if all the repairs weren't finished by the time.